So our coyote season here in New York goes from after sunrise, October 1st, until the last Sunday in March at midnight. Now, right now our season's closed, and I'm going to pass on some information that I've witnessed and I've watched out of season, and this is going to go out to other hunters in other states that don't have a coyote season. So, your spring calving season. Now, what we've done in the past here in New York, there's very limited opportunity on actually pursuing coyotes out of season. And I've been a hunter ed instructor for the state of New York for about 8 years now. I've talked with local DEC, Department of Environmental Conservation officers, which is basically like our DNR. They're our wildlife police, and talking with them and looking at all of the gray area of information. There's a lot of gray area. Can you, can't you? Everything I've talked about with these guys, what we do under their discretion is completely legal. You have to meet certain requirements. Now, if you're the landowner, a leasee, a tenant, immediate family, you have to fall under certain categories for this. So something we've done over the past years, a friend of mine is immediate family and he is executor of the estate. They have a livestock farm, they have cattle, they have multiple, probably 75 to 100 head of cattle. Every year, putting trail cameras up around the pasture, nothing, dead, quiet. Probably about 2 weeks before that first calf is dropped, coyote presence starts increasing and increasing and increasing. Now, you and I, as humans, we can look at our watch, we know what time it is, we can look at the calendar, we know what day it is, we have other means of knowing what time of year it is. Wildlife, their number one calendar is photosensitivity. How much daylight is during 24 hours? Photosensitive is the calendar for species of wildlife that triggers certain behavior. So looking at all of the past information that we've had on spring calving season with coyote presence around pasture prior to calves dropping, why do those coyotes start picking up presence around pasture? It's two things, and this is educated speculation on my part. Daylight, but the key trigger to this is what I believe a hormonal odor that's actually coming from the cow, not the calf. That pregnant cow, just before birth and before calving, there has to be this hormonal odor coming off of that cow to indicate and trigger that response for that coyote to start frequenting more and more and more. And this is something that we've watched and witnessed on trail cameras over the years of nothing, 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 a little bit more. And then even right before that first calf is dropped, that coyote presence is exponentially increasing around the fringes of pasture. And right after birth of that first calf in pasture, that's what's triggering coyotes to actually come into pasture. And we're not watching coyotes attacking calves and negatively impacting livestock. They're scavenging. Afterbirth, colostrum, the calf feeding from mom, the calf excreting colostrum, freshly fed from the udder of the cow, excreting the colostrum. All of this beneficial everything that coyote needs to survive to bring back to their family group, because this is also the time of year where it's just after their denning season, where mom needs to put calories back on, dad's like they're scavenging. They're totally finding a food source, easy, opportunistic. Nothing turns into a little bit more, and it's constantly increasing until that first calf is dropped, and then it's just repetitive. That first calf, the next calf, the next calf. So talking with our local wildlife enforcement, my friend is executor of the estate, and he's also immediate family. His finger can legally be on the trigger of the firearm. So I'm in the field, I'm with him, his finger's on the trigger, and I'm nothing more than a second set of eyes. We're just scanning, 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 scanning. We can't call because we're manipulating wildlife to come into pasture. But what we're actually doing is basically just sitting on overwatch for pasture patrol, waiting for coyotes to enter the arena. And as soon as coyotes enter the arena, the only call we make when it's totally safe and ethical to shoot the coyote that actually comes into pasture, we're just giving it a woo! Stop the coyote, shoot the coyote, kill the coyote before it potentially becomes a threat. We've actually watched coyotes in the field with calves, a few weeks old, and that early season couple-week-old calf is like your juvenile fawn, frolicking, jumping around. We've actually watched calves trying to play with coyotes, like totally ridiculous things. That coyote is strictly in the pasture, just scavenging. There's so much food source in our area for that animal to eat. It's not going to mess with the cows, typically doesn't mess with the calves, but you don't wait for something to become a problem. We dispatch that. I say we, my friend dispatches that coyote before it becomes an issue because it's happened. It's happened before. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of resource for the landowner. So things that we do in the off season, we'll relocate trail cameras to the outer edges of perimeter of pasture, put them on travel corridors. That's easy for coyotes to come into pasture. As soon as you start seeing and documenting when coyotes are starting to spend a little bit more frequency, you know the gestation period from conception to birth for your calves, for your cows to start calving. Take those time frames, you have that educated guess when that first calf is going to start dropping. That's when you can start really knocking those springtime numbers down for your coyote population, especially in states that don't have a coyote season. Put trail cameras outer edge of perimeter of pasture, and don't spend too much attention on those random coyotes. As soon as you start seeing the frequency picking up, there's got to be that hormonal odor coming off of a cow indicating I'm just about to give birth. That's when you're going to start exponentially picking up frequency of coyote population coming into pasture. That's really when you're going to want to start focusing attention on pastures and coyote calling.